If you remember in the Beatitudes, where we learned about when you pray, when you fast, when you give, there's been some sacrificial things happening. There's been some flesh dying. And I had this vision where I said really loud, I was half awake, half asleep, and I said, skin! And as soon as I said it, a huge piece of meat, like something that's hanging in a meat fridge, came at my face out of nowhere. Came right at my face. And I'm like, what in the world does this mean? And so I said, Valora, what does this mean? And she said, ooh, I know what that means. And she says, for every bit of flesh that you give the Lord's going to return your flesh for meat. He's going to give you meat. As you give him your flesh, he's going to give you his meat. And I don't know about you, but that just stirs me up. Like, I'm like, every time I close my eyes, I'm like, God, I'm giving you more flesh. Every time I can say no to something, I'm like, God, I'm giving this to you. I want meat. I want the meat. And so that's for all of us, okay? And then the next day, you gave me some of that Justin Abraham stuff. And I'm like, this is meat? I mean, I literally got fed for 3 days from that meat because I gave him some of my flesh. This is the reciprocity of God, whatever. You know, what you do comes back like God talking, God talking, God talking, God moving, God shaking. And I felt like this morning the Lord said, through you, the world is going to know that heaven is real. Through us. That God said they're going to know through us that heaven is real because of the amount of heaven that's on us. And this joy right here, I believe joy is meat. I believe his presence is like good eating. You know? We're getting fed from the presence of the Lord. And, you know, like fresh bread. You know the bread that was in the holy, that bread? It's called bread of his presence. One version says face bread. Did you know that, Diane? Face bread. Face bread. Face bread. That's the presence. That's the holy place. There's face bread. And Jesus, you know, the one thing that it says, you shouldn't go there, you know, but he says, but David ate that bread, you know, and he wasn't supposed to. Anyway, that bread is available for us, and it's face to face. It is encounter. I feel the anointing for encounter here. To encounter Jesus. To eat that face bread. Oh my gosh, to carry heaven so that everyone around you gets to eat of the meat of God.
Let's eat some meat.
He's not fast food. He's not full of bad calories. You know, he is like, he hits the spot. God knows how to hit the spot. And all you got to do is just give him some flesh. Just give him some flesh and he'll give you his meat. I mean, who wants meat?